Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
What's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to the show. This is episode 813 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back, and welcome back on this wonderful Tuesday installment of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Glad to be back, glad to see everybody, glad to be here, glad to be alive, which Robert Redford isn't, which I'm just seeing on the board now that Vegas said Robert Redford had passed away at 89 years old. Good morning to Richard, Phil, and Vegas on the board. Always great seeing you guys. You guys are amazing. Good morning to everybody. Welcome back to the show. We're going to catch up on some things today. Today we got all the I don't even know what the word was. We got it all out, and now we're ready to move forward. Get ready for New England. Before we do that, you know what my biggest problem, guys? I was thinking about it. You know what? Actually, a friend of mine brought it up.
Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. you know my biggest problem was in elementary school for literally 6 years, all the way up until sixth grade?
Reading.
Well, yeah, but I could never get those milk cartons open when I was a kid. Remember the easiest with the flap, and you had to tear and get in there and pull. And I got to be honest, that was about 6 years that I did not have milk in school because I just couldn't. I couldn't get it open. I can remember in school just being so panicked, and I thought, why can't I get this milk? And then you'd rip at it and pull at it, and you would get it open to a degree, but then you would try to drink it and it would go everywhere. Did anybody else have this problem? I was just wondering that because this was a big problem for me. Again, it was probably well through elementary school that I learned how to open up those milk cartons. You don't make it easy for a kid to open, but
no.
You ever have trouble with that?
I did not all the time, but like occasionally you would get that one carton that just wouldn't want to open right. You could tell the minute you peeled that little fucker back that it was not going to pop out the way it was supposed to. Like you just knew like defeat was imminent. Like looking in the Aaron Rodgers' eyes on Sunday, you knew defeat was imminent. That's how I was with certain ones. But like 99 times out of 10, ba-boom, ba-boom. 99 times out of 10, hell yeah, brother. And I'd get them open. Is that one? That one time out of 100 out of the 10 times, it just wouldn't work.
It was such a struggle. It was such a struggle.
Struggle like me with math right there.
And, and I remember going home and thinking to myself, why isn't this not an issue? And the milk cartons were bigger at home and it would pop out rather easily. But you get them little tiny milk cartons and you're pulling that little, I'm telling you, bro, it's not stick. It's not a bit. This is 100% true. I struggled for years with that damn milk carton.
I want to make fun of you, but like I said, brother, there were like occasionally that one that would creep up on me. It's like that team you can never beat in football or in hockey or in baseball. You just it's like the Pirates versus the Dodgers. You were the Pirates, that milk carton was, you were the Dodgers, that milk carton was the Pirates, man. You just could not win that struggle.
Yeah, the milk carton was a struggle. I do want to say, if you notice in the picture in front of you, I do want to say this before we start, guys. We want to give a big shout out to our friends at Duquesne Pilsner. Over the weekend on their social media, they did a big tailgate down at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday to get ready for the Steelers game this past weekend against the Seahawks. And they did mention us in their post for their tailgate, and it is greatly appreciated. And we want to say thank you so much to our friends at Duquesne Pilsner. So everybody, do try. Believe me, you're not going to regret it. Try Duquesne Pilsner. This is the beer that we do drink when we are watching Steeler football games, guys. Again, a big thank you to the people at Duquesne Pilsner. Everybody, Duquesne Pilsner, try it. Good beer. Mike is drinking it literally on the show right now. This is his third beer. I'm going to be honest with you.
It is too.
He's been killing.
That's the advantage of working third shift. This is my evening.
Right.
But no, it's good, man.
But I do want to say, go try it, get it. Duquesne Pilsner, everybody. Preferred beer of the two dumb Yinzers. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to the board. Mike, I am going to jump on the board. We have a lot of things to go over today. And I'm going to continue to hit on these points. And we have Monday Night Football. We're wrapping it up. And Mike, we do have the results for the CBS Pick'em for the week. I'm going to wait a few minutes just in case any other people on the board are in the competition. Whenever they show up, we'll talk about this. And we'll talk about what's coming up for the Steelers and the NFL. So hang out, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Glad to see everybody this morning. Welcome back. And Richard says, good morning to Richard. Richard says, happy. We can't live in our fears Tuesday. I like it.
No, we cannot. We cannot live in our fears until it's convenient to live in our fears.
Phil Steele says, what's up, you crazy Yinzers? What's up, brother? Always great seeing Phil on the board. On a terrible board this morning. Robert Redford died at 89 today in Vegas. What's up, brother?
I thought he already died when I got the notification. I thought he was dead for years.
Vegas had 4th and 1 at the 50, and you punt. Shows you have no confidence in your team, and if you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win.
Ooh, hot take.
John says Robert Redford couldn't watch Steeler games anymore and decided to check out.
Jesus Christ. I did not know that was an option. Thanks for filling in me now, brother.
Yeah, don't tell people that.
God damn, man.
Yinzers will be dropping like flies after the next couple games.
Doing the show solo.
Vegas says, we told you to stop trying to use your belt buckle to open your milk run. Tortilla, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Tortilla and John everywhere. Just in case I didn't say good morning to you. Tortilla says game was tied at Vegas, and we had 2 interceptions with an opportunity to pin them back. Phil Steele says final thought on the loss to Seattle, non-division, non-conference, just another game, but the coaches got to get their shit together for the season. Starts after the bye week. John says, I can't open cereal boxes. Things that come in vacuum-sealed plastic and most things requiring skill and patience. I'm right there with you. I truly am.
I could see both of you just like grabbing the nearest knife and stabbing the shit out of this.
Just like 2 monkeys pawing away at the bag,
Grab the tree bears.
Exactly. Tortilla says, you guys think Mike Tallman drinks when watching? If he doesn't, he should. Maybe
Brother probably's drinking. Him and the coaches get together and pound cases of something.
This is what they do in their game plan,
and they just pound them and get drunk.
Also, Mark Malone says, I'm sipping on a cold Miller High Life as we speak.
Cheers, brother.
Tortilla says that Vegas sure doesn't make going for it a good idea when you can't get the yards. Mark Malone, what's up? Great to see Mark Malone on the board. He says going to be 90 fucking degrees out there again. And then good morning to Cody. Always great seeing Cody on the board. And finally, Phil the Steel. Phil the Steel says this. He says, you all want to hear something? I started drinking at 11 years old. When you grow up in the hood, you start drinking as soon as you start kicking it in the corner. But here's the part, fellas. And there's no part. maybe that's the point of the story. But yeah, no, we you know what's funny? Because when I seen Mickey's Big Mouth the other day, the 40, and it's wild because when we were younger, we were, me and my friends were drinking Mickey's and it was $2, and that's why I remember this specifically. The beer was $2 a 40, and when I seen it the other day, 30 years later, it's $3.89. It literally only went up $1.89 in 30 years. With everything going up the way that it is, that kind of blew my mind, made me laugh, and here I am telling about it. So $1.89 it went. That was all the inflation that Mickey's Big Mouth went up. So maybe I just might go grab a 40. Excuse me, for old time's sake. But you know what trumps everything, guys? Right here, Duquesne Pilsner, right here in Pittsburgh, brewed right here at our hometown, guys. Duquesne Pilsner, again, thank you to the people of Duquesne Pilsner for including us in your promotion for your tailgate this weekend at Acrisure Stadium. We couldn't be more thankful. Thank you, guys. Again, Duquesne Pilsner. Let's grab right here where Cody says, I realized that I'm not a single cornerback or safety played on this team last year that was on the field on Sunday. Communication errors, TA calling man plays instead of zone on 3rd and long. I think it's fixable. Richard says, thank God for an early bye week. Phil still says, I stopped drinking when I turned 21 years old. Yes, I turned 21. I made a vow to my future wife I wouldn't drink anymore and been alcohol free since 96. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Also, Vegas says gas at Shell near me was $3.99 on Friday. It's $4.15. And Richard says Mickey's are not the same as they were years ago. That's interesting.
God damn, I'd kill someone.
And that's like I said, me and my one buddy, we would it was the cheap alcohol. You got a 40 for $2 and you couldn't beat it. But good morning, everybody. Ready for some Steeler talk? Let's get into it. You know what? Let me start off with these scores from Monday night, Mike. A couple interesting comments that I do have as we do kind of get the show started off today. The 7:00 game last night was won by Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield is a beast. Mike, anybody that could survive Cleveland and become the comeback player for only being in Cleveland.
Exactly. I was about to say that. I saw.
Nobody has fight like this guy. He survived Cleveland, and he is out there excelling. So I got to give – I wanted Baker Mayfield at one point. Kudos to him as his Tampa Bay Buccaneers got the win last night, 20-19 over Houston. And this game here, as the Raiders were brought up on the screen already on the board, guys, this was some of the things that happened in the Raider game. Yes, the L.A. Chargers, they beat the Raiders 20-9. Mike Gentry goes 11 for 43. He runs the ball 11 times for 43 yards last night. This is the one that I like. The guy that this is the guy that I seriously wanted, and I told us to trade our whole team away at one point to get him. Justin Herbert, Mike, he goes 19 for 27, 242 yards and a touchdown. That puts him at a total of 560 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions after 2 games with a 2-0 record. I like this Charger team. I've been saying that for a couple since the season was starting, Mike. The Chargers win again 2-0 under Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh, and they got a good thing going on out there. And even Najee got a few more carries yesterday as he actually led. He led the running backs in rushing for the Chargers last night, Mike, which also is very interesting to me because the Chiefs are 0-2 in that division. So the Raiders win one, lose one. The Broncos are, but the Chiefs are 0-2. And the Chargers are at the top of that division, 2-0. And we said that from the very beginning. Watch that AFC West. It's going to be interesting this year. I said there's no way that the Chiefs go out there and just dominate this division again, Mike. And you're seeing it play out real time. Again, kind of my guilty pleasure team, if you will, the LA Chargers.
Yeah, and not a bad little ball club out there in LA. I missed the highlight, but they're apparently Landon Roberts stuffed Najee Harris in the hole. Like, come on now, two former Steelers got to beat up on each other. I don't like to see that kind of.
Yeah,
I just felt that was kind of funny when I saw that scroll on through social media. Like, 2 of the guys that we like.
A few other things around the league that did happen. I just want to throw out there. I know we were going to get into strict Steeler talk, and I do mean strict as we do sip and drink on our Duquesne Pilsner throughout the show today. Guys, also around the league, this is things that we did see over the weekend. Of course, Jaden Daniels is dealing with his knee sprain. Justin Fields on concussion protocol. Of course, the former Steeler. Brock Purdy dealing with the toe injury. And Joe Burrow out with the toe injury for 3 months. Mike, they signed Sean Clifford and Mike White as your boy Sean Clifford.
Dumbasses.
Backup Jake Browning in Cincinnati. Mike, we will not see Joe Burrow this season, not in the regular season anyway, Mike, but again, these are some significant early injuries. And one other thing that I do want to mention before we do start is future Steeler Tyreek Hill. Future Steeler Tyreek Hill has 6 catches and 109 yards this weekend. So again, think of what our receivers did and think of 6 catches and 109 yards. So again, maybe that could help us out. But there's a lot of things that we have to fix in order to get things corrected, to get things changed for the right here in Pittsburgh, guys. So let's grab a couple more messages, and then we're going to get into it because we're going to talk about some defense today, Mike. I think the defense is a good place to start with this team. Defense, offense, special teams. I guess take a pick, right? But let's start right here. Let's go back to when to John. I'm sorry, John says. TA doesn't make those calls. Mike Tomlin does. Terrell Austin, I'm sorry, doesn't make those calls. Mike Tomlin does. I think they are figuring out that man coverage is too much for the old guys.
Which kind of sucks because the way they were talking about, like, they're hoping to play a lot of man to do a whole hell of a lot more blitzing this year.
Tortilla says, I stopped drinking on Sunday. I have no money. But if you do happen to go and pick up some beer, don't forget Duquesne Pilsner. Guys, also, Vegas says stop drinking and starting mainlining heroin every other Thursday.
Different strokes for different folks, brother. We don't judge.
Morgan Malone says that really is something. Also, Brian Pasquale, what's up, Brian? Great to see you on the board. He says Steelers pick Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett instead of Baker Mayfield. And I got to be honest with you, so did the Bears because Mitch Trubisky has better numbers the whole way down the list in his first 17 games with the Bears than Caleb Johnson does. Something to think about, everybody. If you go look up their stats for the first 17 games, which is all you could count for Caleb, Mitch Trubisky's numbers are better the whole way down the list. So everybody picks Mitch Trubisky at some point, but everybody learns at some point as well.
I tell you, like Baker Mayfield, the one game that he played for the Rams saved his NFL career. Because he just got cut by the he got cut by the Panthers that before that game, gets picked up by LA, goes out there on like 3 days and learns their entire offense, or just enough to go out there and win a game. And then he became not a hot free agent, but like an intriguing free agent. Otherwise he was getting close to being out of the NFL at that point.
Tortilla saying Najee versus a Landon Roberts last night. That's intriguing.
That was a fun one. I got to find the video of that one.
Cody says, damn, since 96, I was born in 95. That's crazy. You know what? Something that's crazy about that. I was thinking of this too the other day. I was thinking, when I was younger, so I mean, that would make Cody probably about 29 years old. When I was younger, I worked with a guy. It was just me and him. I worked at a cemetery for a while. We were grave diggers. And the guy I worked with was 20 years older than me. And that's what I learned sitting there talking to him. He wasn't an older guy. He wasn't a guy that was like my dad. He was a person who's just been alive 20 years older than me. And I learned a lot from him. I got to be honest with you. And again, as a kid, as a younger person, you're under that misconception that everybody that's older is just old. But when I got out and was working out there, man, he was a person. And that's when it really dawned on me that 20 years is nothing in the big picture.
No, so you were a grave digger.
Yes.
And you always come up with a devastating injury that gets one of our players killed every week. Under your name, it needs to say grave digger because you just be killing everyone and burying bodies everywhere. You're killing the Steelers too.
I got to be honest. There's some good stories from that job. Maybe we'll get into them someday. But right now, I'm going to read Brian's comment. Brian says Baker Mayfield makes $33 million a year. TJ Watt makes $41 million a year as Baker Mayfield is making it happen in Tampa Bay. Is TJ Watt making it happen? I don't know.
If I read correctly, if I remember correctly, since joining the Buccaneers, no quarterback has more touchdown passes than Baker Mayfield.
I believe it. John says going to SoFi next month to watch the Chargers versus the Colts. SoFi is a state-of-the-art stadium. It looks beautiful. It's wonderful.
Awesome. You lucky some bitch.
Vegas says turf toe has ended Hall of Fame careers. It sure has, man.
Jack
I don't
Lambert.
remember who was it that was it was one of the black quarterbacks in the early 2000s. Was it Donovan or was it Steve McNair? One of them guys had certainly had a devastating toe injury that pretty much effed up their career there at the end. So
I know who you're talking about.
So the toe is definitely that's a big injury.
Yeah, and one of the former quarterbacks I follow, he was a backup, but he had the same type of injury that Joe Burrow's having. He's going to have the same surgery. He's like, he said Burrow's not going to have the same explosiveness off that foot. It can affect like everything from his accuracy to his escapability to the power. Just you can't get your feet right.
Tortilla says 49 players on the roster, 49 players in the ER for. Cody says, should we have known Baker was a dog when he was headbutting people with him? You know what? He was a dog. And that's the thing. When he was in Cleveland, he was a dog and he was winning them football games and he beat the Steelers in the playoffs. At that point, the Browns should have said, you know what? We have our guy. And the fact that he's a baller. The guy goes out and plays his ass off every game. He's a Brett Favre kind of player. He's that. He's like a lot like Brett Favre. Again, when I watch him, that's what I think of. And I would have loved to have him on our team at one point, Mike. And again, we struck out just as big as Cleveland did on that one. Even bigger. They struck out bigger because they even had him. They had him at one point.
I read a comment today that said, if they're right in Cleveland that Baker lost the locker room and that's why they got rid of him, they should have got rid of the locker room. Like he was the guy you build around. He was that guy, and they totally fucked it up.
Tortilla says we signed Ben Skoranek and Van Jefferson after that Baker Rams game. Cody says he's 30. Spot on. 30. Nice, man. Vegas is Ryan dug graves for the mob in the Vegas deserts. That's right, baby. And then Phil still says, there you go. Vanilla Thunder and the Gravedigger versus Peaches and Fanny. Pornorama. Guys, and I do want to say, if you did check out the nerd show that Derpy and them put up on Sunday night, Aunt Peaches did chime in at some point. I did catch this, and it was rather funny, actually.
Aunt Peaches gets around.
She does get around. She mentioned a few things about what goes on in Derpy's life, and I thought it was funny. Check them out on Sunday nights at 9:00, guys. A few other things, and one more thing I'm going to talk about. Then we're getting all Steelers. The tush push, guys. Go back and watch tush push footage from this weekend. The offensive line is offside every single time they operate it, Mike. The guards are moving before the ball moves. This wasn't brought to my attention until yesterday, and it is so obvious now. Go watch any replay of the tush push, and the guards are already moving forward, and the ball hasn't even not been snapped. It hasn't even started moving yet, guys. So something to keep an eye on. I support the tush push, but it has to be done within the rules.
Yeah, like the same guy who was just talking about Joe Burrow. He's been harping on the tush push for I think about 2 seasons now, and it's exactly what you've been saying. Every time it happens, he gets the sky view of it. And he's like, 6 offensive linemen are lined up illegally. He's like, allow them to run the play, but call the rules the way they're supposed to be called. If an offensive lineman is lined up offsides, you have to call it. Since you're not going to allow the defense to push, you got to at least make it fair for them by having the offense line up appropriately. And that's how they get away with it. Guys lining up in the neutral zone. Like you said, in this one too, they added to the guards.
They said, is this going to be something that, do we like this? Should this be in the rules? And I do think so. It should be out there, and you should be able to do it. Yeah. But again, you can't not call offsides when they do it, because for one, you're already putting the defense at a disadvantage by doing that.
Yeah.
So the controversial play itself becomes even more controversial. Again, they have to call that. Otherwise, get it the hell out of there. Do it right or don't do it at all.
Exactly.
Am I right or wrong?
Exactly. Yeah, you're not wrong. And I think it's bullshit that in a play like that, the offense is allowed to push, but the defense isn't.
Guys, also, let's get back to the board. Richard says Jack Lambert retired due to turf toe. Tortilla says, thank God every day that the Browns blew their team up for an injured sex offender. They're going to be trying to fix this mess for years.
I love it.
Vegas says Jack and Dion both retired to turf toe.
I didn't know that about Dion.
Man, then he don't even have a toe now. So
I know, right? I think isn't he in danger of losing like his foot too or some shit?
I don't know.
Damn, man.
But, poor guy's toes. Tortilla says Broderick Jones would fit well in Philadelphia. Cody says teams are avoiding TJ Watt. They don't run to the left because Watt's there. They move him to the right. The Seahawks run to the left. Terrell Austin stacks whatever side. TJ Watt's not on with 11 other people. And Cody says, he did catch the nerd show. He did catch that.
And they're still running through the right-hand side.
Yeah. Guys, so this is what we're going to start with this defense here. This is kind of this is my opinion of what happens, what's going on. Let me say this. I'm going to start with these two words. Caleb Johnson. Okay, so I'm going to take what I just said. I'm going to place it right here on the shelf. All right, Caleb Johnson. Now, bear with me. Here we go. The Steelers' defense, guys, is the highest paid defense by far. By far. Go look at the numbers. It's tens of millions. Steelers' defense not only is the highest paid defense by far, they have the best defensive player in the league. How many times have you heard this? Whether you agree, whether you disagree, a person that's considered the best defensive player in the league is on the highest paid defense that's highest paid by far. The defense is now star-studded, more than it's been in my life. Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Patrick Queen, Slay, Joey Porter Jr. Go down the list. The most star-studded the defense in Pittsburgh has ever been in my life. Okay? So now they're the highest paid by far. They have the best defensive player in the league. They're star-studded. Wait. And they have a defensive-minded coach. Our head coach is a defensive-minded guy. So if anything on this team should be better than anything else, it should be the highest paid defense with the best defense player that has a bunch of stars on it. Guys, the fact that the defense, Mike, their defense success rate is 31st. Their EPA per drive is 29th in the league. EPA per play is 29th in the league. Points allowed is 29th in the league. Yards per play, 29th in the league. Yards per game, 29th in the league.
Yeah.
For these guys in that locker room to go after that kid because he fucked up on a the way they're constantly changing these special teams rules, and the rookie who literally has only been playing in this league for you listen, at this point when that fumble happened, he hasn't played 2 official games in the NFL yet to this point. That was partially through his second game. And they're going to sit there and go after this kid, and they are. Believe me, they're a lot is coming back to that play. But again, the highest paid defense by far, best defensive player in the league, star-studded defense, and a defensive-minded coach with all 29s to 31s and anything that counts in defense their first 2 games. And they're going to blame the kid. Take that kid off the shelf. I agree. Get him out of special teams. The guy's a running back. He's struggling. Let him focus and play running back. Get somebody else back here. But the way people are going after this kid, it's just not right. It's a fuck up. It's a mistake. And again, as a rookie, not only a rookie, he played 1.5 games to that point. I'm just saying. I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying that the guy didn't mess up. He did. He messed. That was a mistake. It was a big mistake. They scored a touchdown, but we lose by 2 touchdowns. Take it away again. Where are we getting the other 7 points to even tie this game, which we didn't put up in the 40 minutes that was given to us? So for those numbers that the Steelers are putting up, all that information, it literally makes no sense to me what's going on with this defense. And I don't know if any team in this league would be having these same troubles in those same circumstances with all those things. I don't know. Mike, please start to make this make sense to me.
Well, here's another thing. Sack percentage. 5.17%, 24th in the NFL. So we're not even getting sacks. We're not even getting pressure like we normally do. So there's a lot wrong with this defense. Mike,
and listen, I'm not cutting you off for. With all those names that I said, you could also add Alex Highsmith, who's a high-paid linebacker on this team.
Yes.
You could also add, until last week, Deshaun Elliott. Okay, he's injured. Let's add Jabril Peppers. So, again, there is a lot of star power on this defense. Mike, that's nine of the 11 guys that I would say fall into that category, with the exception of Benton and Peyton Wilson at this point, who are catching a lot of heat for the run game this week. And we're going to get into that. But, Mike, again, Watt, Cam, Ramsey, Queen, Slay, JPJ, Thornhill, Alex Highsmith, Deshaun Elliott / Peppers. Mike, this should not be the last place defense in the whole entire league. And again, all those things going into it. Again, I'm going to hand it off to you. I'm not going to interrupt you this time.
No,
please make it make sense. Please.
I can't make it make sense. Yes, are there schematical issues that need to change? Yes, like having a single high safety when deep crossers are coming. We got beat last week and this week with it. That needs to change. But when you're running stride for stride with a guy, playing man coverage, looking at you, Jalen Ramsey, letting JSN beat you all inside the slot by faking outside leverage and cutting inside and getting a big third down conversion, you're a vet. You got to be able to read that. You got to be able to see something. This is the guy that wants to take the number one every game. He got burnt by a guy that caught his very first pass for a touchdown. Exactly. Yeah. And he was and that was the play we got beat on it by the Jets for, I think, a touchdown as well. He was the deep man covering his guy across the field. Like you got to see shit like that coming. Yes, some of it's schematical, but some of it you got to be able to beat at some point when you're in man coverage. You gotta be able to make the play against the man that you're on. Up front, Keanu Benton, he's got to play DN, not D tackle. YA Black, you got to live up to your preseason hype. There are numerous times I saw him falling down. I don't want to put all the pressure on him. He is just a rookie. He is just fifth round. He's showing potential. But you're out there in the starting lineup. You gotta start living up to your end of the bargain here. It sucks, but you got to grow up quick out there, figure it out, because we need something up front. Because we saw early in the game after that first drive, they started to do some things really well up front. They started to stuff the run. Guys were eating up blocks, and you were able to see your Patrick Queens fly around and make plays. We finally saw, TJ Watt line up to the opposite side because they kept running to the side where Highsmith was when he went out. They flipped Watt over there. What do? They immediately run to the other side because they know where he is. But still, Watt's got to find a way to produce. He's got to find a way to get the quarterback when he gets those favorable one-on-one matchups. But they also have to draw up some pressures, too, where he's not the only linebacker blitzing from that side. Because we saw on Sawyer sack. They sent him up the middle on TJ Watt's side. I don't know if he was lined up there or it's a stunt around, but that was a brilliant scheme because 2 or 3 guys are going to go to TJ Watt. Why not rush someone else up that fucking lane too? Hey, it only took us 8 years, but we finally figured it out. So that's plus. They need more smart plays like that designed, but I just don't know if they're too stubborn to do it. And sometimes we saw when plays are there, guys aren't making them on that big long touchdown. Patrick Queen, it was another nice design play up front. People moving around on the D-line allows Patrick Queen to shoot up the middle, and he guessed wrong on the angle, and Darnold was able to hit the tight end, who Peyton Wilson let go after he dummied him with the block, and Wilson kept running for the quarterback instead of turning around and running after the tight end. Plays are there, but they're not being executed sometimes. And then there's also times schematic plays the guys are executing right, and it's just, the play was drawn up poorly and they're beating us. So a lot of shit has to change. But there's a framework in there that you can see plays and concepts are working. They got to fucking build on that and not be stubborn to go, well, that's not what we normally do. Well, what we normally do isn't working. This shit that we're starting to see now, stunts and twists, is working a whole hell of a lot better than anything else we've seen other than having 4 guys line up in a row and just run right at them. Need more twists, more stunts, shit like that to confuse the offensive line. Our guys right now, TJ Watt's not as explosive as he once was to run around the edge anymore. We got to use it in weird situations. Find ways to get him pressure. He was looping around to start from the outside into the middle. Now you just got to add someone to loop around to that other side. Get those guys confused on the offensive line, and you can see those pressures go up. And then, this defense could get on a roll because they have the talent there to do it. It's just, can they do it, and can we get schemes drawn up for them to do it?
All right. Well taken. Let me get to the board, Mike. I'm going to start right here. Okay, there we go. Fielder still says the players aren't the problem. It's a defensive scheme, fellas. Tortilla says, I love Caleb Johnson. I've been saying all off season he's good, but he doesn't look like his like he's run full speed at all. I agree. I've said that since day one. I literally think there was 2 plays that I thought he looked quick. And as a matter of fact, it was Mike and I were both standing in the same room, and I was able to point those 2 plays out. But besides for that, not seeing a whole bunch that really impresses me about this young player. But again, guys, he's 2 games in. Let's give him a little time. But again, get him out of special teams.
Yeah.
He's got to focus on running the ball.
Yeah,
because again, that's his primary job. He's a running back, and he's got to learn how to run. Mike, and also just kind of branching off this for a second, talking about development in the defense that you were just talking about. Mike, is there any concern of yours? By the way, that we went through the Benton development, the Mark Robinson development, some of these players in the front 7 that just didn't pan out. Are you concerned at all about the development of Y.A. Black and Derek Harmon moving forward, Mike, just due to the lack of development? Because you figure a lot of these other guys we did bring in, you got Cole Holcomb. He came from another team. We didn't develop him. Mm-hmm. Patrick Queen. So there are a bunch of players, Mike, in the front 7 that we didn't even develop. And the ones that we didn't make it. And there are a few, don't get me wrong, the superstars, they made it.
Yeah.
But Mike, are you concerned at all about the development of these rookie defensive linemen moving forward?
Like, yes and no, because I think who was it? Dunbar's the D-line coach, but he also helps coach the outside backers, and we see how Herbig has gotten better with his pass rush move since he's got here. Highsmith developed from a 3rd round pick to before he became injury prone, a pretty well regarded number 2 outside linebacker in the league that teams were starting to not game plan around, but they had to have a focus for because they know what he can do. Sawyer stepping up. So the outside guys, the interior D line, Cam Hayward's the last one we really developed.
Look how that's going.
Hayward, Hargraves, and Tuitt were the last interior guys that you can say, okay, yeah, they were good. So it puts a little worry on me.
All right, Mike Tomlin is the great secondary master. That's the point I was making, Mark. It's just one of the things on this pile of shit that I'm talking about. I'm not going to blame it entirely on him, but he's a big part of it as well, as far as same as all these other things that I mentioned. So, instead of sitting around pointing fingers, figure out what the hell Yinzers are doing and do what Yinzers are supposed to do well. You're a Hall of Fame coach. Figure it out. These are Hall of Fame players. Figure it out. Something's got to give because they're the worst defense in the league. He's already tainted Slay and Ramsey. Richard saying Tomlin's defensive mind has expired. He came here off the Tampa Bay Super Bowl. He went to Minnesota, was working with their D. A lot of great things about his defense. I would assume that that should play a role somewhere. RB says, hey guys, good morning. What's up, dude? Sitting in the hot tub, threw my back out last night, but I heard someone say Tomlin is a defensive-minded coach. That's BS. He was a DB's coach and a defensive coordinator for a cover 2 defense. And again, even be it as it may, he's not an offensive guy. At some point, just being a defensive guy should leak into some other areas and say, wow, we could figure this out. I mean, it's football, it's defense. Let's see what we could figure out. Tortilla says, yeah, just put Miller and Gainwell back there. Put Miller, exactly. Now, I don't like the white returner, but at this point, who else can we put back there?
That's about it. Yeah, Gainwell and Scotty Miller. At least Scotty Miller's quick. He can get up to full speed.
And then he says no need for Warren. Well, he was another one that ends up back there. I mean, it's our starting running back.
Yeah, I don't mind Jalen Warren back there, but I don't want Jalen Warren back there because I don't want my starting running back. The only one who's shown signs of life. He's the only one I do not want back there.
We never put Najee back there. Johnson is a power back. Mark Malone says, yeah, that fucker has no business returning kicks, even if he hadn't fucked up. Everybody's been saying that all along. It's not like he just made this mistake and everybody's now saying, oh, this guy, get him out of there. But this is something that's been saying all along. I don't even get the move why they did this. Again, if he's a receiver like Antonio Brown, that's a different way to start your career. But a running back is very bizarre to see being the main guy back there returning kicks. RB says a Down syndrome dog could do those jobs. Phil still says at Richard, which is why I said at the end of last season, 3 seasons ago by Tomlin. Cody says Steelers' highest paid players with the lowest paid defense, lowest paid defensive coordinator. Mike, does that play a role? What if the defensive coordinator was of higher quality? Is this?
Oh
something we
yeah,
should consider?
it should be, because you saw when Dan Rooney was running the team, like you would lose a high paid assistant. You go out and get one of you try and go out and get one of the higher end ones. Now we don't do that. Now it's
We
like
don't do that here.
we don't do that here. We're going out and getting bottom of the barrel bargain bins here.
We do, and it's starting to show that it's affecting this team in a negative way with a lot of these low end coaches that we bring. Later on, I'm going to get on Arthur Smith again. This is defense today, but later, Mike, on in the show, we will talk about Arthur Smith's offense. So we're going to get into that shortly here, guys. Tortilla says, and we need to stop trying to use Warren like a power back. His best is a receiver. Going back and forth from Gainwell to Warren does literally nothing for us. Mark Malone, number one paid defense, worst defense in the league. I wonder what the problem is. RB says Tomlin said on the Mike Tomlin show that every snap gets 5 to 7 calls signaled in, and the guys need to decide which to run based off of what they see. That seems to be a real problem, and that's that's common, I think, nowadays in the NFL. These guys are professional football players. You should be able to do these tasks. I would think.
You would think, because hey, this is what here's some plays we like in this situation, but it's going to be predicated on their formation out of the personnel that you see out there. Hey, Green Dot, go ahead and make the call. Get the signal to everyone.
Cody says all 22. The man coverage was getting beat like a stepchild, and they never ran zone coverage on the 3rd and long. That's why they got beat in the middle of the defense all day. Field of Steel says, how come Vanilla Thunder just doesn't freaking say our Steeler locker room needs new coaches, darn it?
They need a new front office, a new owner, new coaches, and new players. Vanilla Thunder's always ready to burn something down.
RB says, seeing as I only seen 5 of those plays in 8 years on defense, beside 3 years ago, week 1 against Cincy, when Flores obviously called the plays, and then never seen any of it ever again. Field of Steel says, paging Mike the Bald Yinzer. Where's Mike the Bald Yinzer? He doesn't work here anymore.
He got fired from the show due to anger management issues.
Aaron Jade, what's up, my man? Always great seeing Aaron
brother?
on the board. He says, here we go, Steelers. And then finally, Cody says, Herbig got better because he trains with Watt. He's going to be nice. I got to be honest with you. I know he said that since day one with Nick Herbig. He's going to be nice. He showed signs of promise early, and one day he's going to be the man. And whether it be here, whether it be somewhere else, you got to like the skills that guy has on the field. He got a motor on him. And again, the ball was given to him on a golden platter, but at the end of the day, he gets his first interception this past weekend. So we'll take that, guys. Again, I do. He's nice. He's a good player, and he's not a bad backup. So there you go. Let's get back to him, Mike. The Steelers are the defense. This is a problem. Mike, TJ Watt has a sack in 5 of the last 17 games that he's played. He has at least a sack in 5 of the last 17 games. Everybody's talking about the big streak now where he hasn't had one, or he's only had a couple since the last 5 games of the year last year into this year. He only has sacks in 5 of the last 17 games he played.
So a season's worth 5 sacks.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good at all. You wanted to be paid more than Myles Garrett. You got what you wanted. Now you have to go out and show that you're worth that. And yeah, he's playing the run great, but we're not paying you to stop the run. We're paying you.
It wouldn't hurt if he did it on the side because you play defense, but yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? That's we're paying you to go out there and get to the quarterback, cause havoc. That's what we want to see. But in his defense, I'll give him some defense here. When you're getting blocked by 2 to 3 guys, and no one else is making a play.
What about when you're getting blocked by the rookie? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. I was getting there, brother.
Okay.
No.
I mean, like I just think off the top, it sounds easy. Okay, well, he's battling 2 to 3 guys, but there has been rookies.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
In that situation, guys got to make a play. But on the flip side, when you're going up against Membu, and you didn't get a single pressure against a rookie in his first NFL start, there's no one to blame but you.
And you got to think, Mike,
like that's on you. You have to beat the man across for you. And when you're lined up 1-on-1 and you're rushing in on someone and it's just 1-on-1, it's man against man. That's on you. There's no coaching in the world that's going to help you because you are the best pass rusher in the world. You have all the moves in your arsenal. Fucking use them.
Let me ask you this. Would it be more hard for a rookie to prepare for the best defensive player in the world, or the best defensive player in the world to prepare for a rookie? In theory, this should go our way, correct? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you have been competing at an NFL level, a Hall of Fame level, but also against NFL talent for 8-9 years now, whatever it is. This guy has not gone up against NFL talent. Maybe one or two guys in college, but that's just one or two guys in college for a couple games. You have been going up against NFL talent now consistently, week in, week out for years now. You should have the biggest advantage over this rookie because you have shit in your arsenal that he should not have seen. You should have speed. You should have moves. You should have something that this cat has never seen, and you should be able to make him look like a fool.
And even if these rookies are study artists who learn the art of
you're going to struggle.
You'll have something in your back pocket that you could pull out against a rookie at some point to do what it is that you do. Again, 0 sacks for him in this season, and again, at least a sack in 5 of the last 17 games.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thing is, though, like with Watt, though, I don't. Yeah, he needs to finish plays, but there's plays that he's getting there. He's getting there, but you got to fucking finish him. Where in years past he would finish those plays, this year he has not finished those plays. He has not been able to get to his man.
All right, guys, let's get back to the board. And then we got a lot to get into today. Also, here in about 10 minutes, we're going to get the results out for the CBS Pick'em for the week for everybody on the terrible board and everybody on the show. We do participate in CBS Pick'em. Mike will put the link up on the board at some point during the show. Click on that or go right outside on the YouTube page and you can sign up. It takes under 30 seconds. It's free. Place your picks every week. See how you do. It went really good this week, Mike. Everybody did well, and again, we'll get into that here in about 10 minutes.
I
halftime the show out. So
I got antsy, so I took a look, and my God, it was competitive.
All right, so yes, I hope we're doing that here in about 10 minutes. Let's jump on the board though, Mike, because I don't want to miss anybody. A lot going on. A lot of people have things to say about this Pittsburgh Steelers team, and being 1-1 at this point. Again, it's not the worst thing in the world. The Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2 in the last place in their division, and here we are again. Just a half game. We're tied with the Ravens, just a half game behind Cincinnati, if you will. So let's get back into it here. John says, Josh Urish, Steel Curtain Network podcast is an extremely brilliant and knows football. He also says RB was posting positive comments on his podcast after calling me ignorant for having the same Rodgers point of view. That's everybody's just trying to figure it out, I think, guys. And again, at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We all want the same thing. And sometimes there's different approaches, a way of seeing it. Again, Mike and I, we agree on a lot, but we disagree on a lot of things too. Mm-hmm. And again, a lot of the time, it's the same thing. It's just a different way of looking at it. But let's see. Cody says at this point, Herbig will replace injury master Alex Highsmith. And again, I do want to throw this out there, guys. If you have not heard, Alex Highsmith. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was for what you're about to say.
Okay. Okay, therapy, relax.
I know. I'm sorry, brother.
Alex Highsmith will not be placed on IR, guys. As of last night, reported by Adam Schefter, the injury that has Highsmith out, we were concerned that it was going to be a IR trip. Mike, he will not be placed on IR, so looks like it's not as serious as we thought, and he will be back in the defense, stopping the run before we know it. So not immediately. It's not going to be this Sunday, but it's certainly not bad enough to put him on the IR.
No, I do have some injury updates.
Yes. Go ahead. Give us the injury updates.
Obviously, Highsmith is out. Loudermilk is out. Deshaun Elliott, Joey Porter Jr., and Derek Harmon are all highly questionable, but there can be a chance to where they can play. So we might be without 4 guys out of there that are supposed to be key components. And Darius Slay and Queen are limited but expected to play.
All right, there you go, guys.
I expect expect Queen to play after the way he battled through last week.
Straight from the pale face's mouth. There you go, guys.
It's not that pale.
Phil the Steel says when Herbig got asked last season how it is that his play and sense for football got better, Herbig mentioned Watt. No two ways about it. He was under his wing since he's got here. You've seen it. And again, the guy has a lot of Watt-like potential. So who better to hang out with and learn from the TJ Watt himself?
Who did Watt learn from?
Dunbar. I don't know. And who?
Dunbar, the coach, the outside backer coach, D-line coach.
Yeah, they really developed. Some tells me
they did develop. TJ Watt was not developed when he came in. He was a bum. I only watched him play one game in college.
You're full of shit. Get out of here.
I only watched him play one game in college.
Tortilla says out John, reverse psychology, RB. RB says not hating on TJ per se, but working with TJ isn't some great thing. TJ has explosion and one pass rush move, which is now glaringly obvious as the explosion has went away and he can't do shit. You know what? Agree or not, that's the truth. We are throwing the numbers out there, guys. Again, a sack in 5 of the last 17 games played by the best defensive player in the league, I guess. Some will say. Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says, I noticed TJ isn't bending around the edge the same. And you remember what's her face? Debo. He would literally bend his body in a 90-degree angle backwards.
Debo was like 5'2" out there.
He also goes on and says was probably his best move. He hasn't done it really since he hurt his foot last year. That could explain why he hasn't done anything in 7 games.
He's got to figure it out. He has to.
If you're getting paid that money, you got to figure out how to get back to that level. Otherwise, you're just stealing money.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give Mike a whole bunch of money and then he won't do the show for a month.
Hey, sign me up, brother.
Is that right? You know what I'm saying? Either shit or get off the pot with these guys is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, I still
Mike, he's the second highest paid non-quarterback in the league.
I know.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's funny, though, that teams are still committing 2 to 3 guys on him. Still sending over a tight end over any. So, how long does that last?
We will see. Maybe this year.
When he goes back to just getting one guy, can he consistently beat that guy? No, if he can consistently beat that guy, that's a fucking win for the Steelers right there, because now he can go back to be a wrecking crew. But when they start bringing guys back over, the other people have to elevate their game as well, because right now, take advantage of teams still scheming against him. Yeah, and
and that's a big part of it, Mike. A lot of teams do prepare in that manner, which. Yeah. At this point, does it need to be that way? We don't know. We'll find out, because somebody's eventually going to not do it. Yeah, and we'll see if that plays effect or not. And
imagine when a team starts not game planning against what just treats him as another guy. Imagine how much more running room there's going to be for that opposing offense. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Feel the Steel says at RB, sometimes it takes one play to change a game. Watt makes sometimes two big plays that give Steelers victory. And you're right.
He's right. And that's the frustrating thing. We see it. We know he can do it.
And that's another thing. I mean, you're right. You're right.
But it's been fewer and far betweener now, and that's just that's what's frustrating about it, because you know he can do it. You want to see it.
Let's jump in here. RB, I think he's referring to John before. RB says also, John, I'm 43. I'm not going to partake in your internet BS. Congrats. You share the same opinion with the guy who's a 5'5", 120 pounds, who was a mascot or male cheerleader in a dress. Sounds like they got their own thing going on the board. I'm going to continue forward. Mark Malone says, will Tomlin be able to defeat the next 2 quarterbacks, or will it be another Tebow Bortles type anal reaming? You know what? That's a great question, because, again, we haven't seen any of the elite quarterbacks we're going to see this year, and it's been tough sailing. Again, how are we going to play Lamar twice? How are we going to play Jordan Love? How are we going to play who's looking great so far, Justin Herbert? Again, some of these guys, it's going to be a real test for the Steeler team as we move forward. And right now it looks like it's going to be an anal reaming. Mark Tortilla says he can be scared to hurt his foot again. He kept cutting back inside instead of bending around the edge. RB says the guy was also screaming to draft Malik Willis 4 years ago. I'm sorry. Cody says, why is everyone turning on TJ? He's TJ Watt. This guy's the reason we won most games last year. Falcons. And you're right. And that's why I'm saying you're not wrong. You were right. And here's a good case of everybody that agrees with one another, just coming from different angles and different views. And we can argue because we come from with different opinions. But at the end of the day, we all feel the same thing. We believe all the same thing about our players, and we want the best thing. But again, yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm not hating. I'm holding to a high standard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And here's the thing. Again, I just want to throw this out there, and it's not just TJ, as I did put it out there today, Cody. It's this defense. And again, the defense has these particular things. They're the highest paid defense by far. By far. They have the best defensive player in the league. We could, a lot of people say that. TJ Watt, that's debatable or whatever. Star-studded defense. Watt, Cam, Ramsey, Queen, Slade, JPJ, Thornhill, Highsmith, Elliott. Again, Peppers now. This team also has, Mike, they also have a defensive coach. And yet this team finishes, ranks in 29 out of 31 in 5 of the 6 most important categories and 31st in the 6th category. That's all. That's why we're really attacking the defense today. I think it deserves it. And again, for them to attack a rookie and use him as a scapegoat, I think it's bullshit. Again, the guy played under 2 games in his professional career. He made this mistake. Yes, it was a big mistake. Yes, it put us down by 14. But again, before you go off on this guy, where are we going to round up? Where are we going to find out other 7 points to tie if we were only down 7 instead of 2 touchdowns? So again, this guy's a scapegoat. You can't give this defense any lack at this point. Again, all those things that I said, highest paid defense by far, best defensive player in the league, star-studded defense, and the defensive-minded coach, again, should not be the last place defense in the league by any means, on any standard, in any league, anywhere you go, and they should definitely not be sitting around blaming a rookie who played less than 2 games. And again, should not have been back at returning kicks as we've seen through the preseason in the first game of the season. We could all say this guy might be a little slow on kickoffs. So again, it wasn't cool. It was a mistake. We did give up a touchdown. It didn't cost us the game. It changed the momentum. But again, what we have on this defense should be able to make a difference in a game like this, Mike. And that's why we're coming at it from this angle today. Today's the defense. Tomorrow we're going to harp on the offense. I'm sure special teams will be at a point to talk about it sometime. But that's all we're doing, Cody. I really don't. Listen. I like TJ. I want TJ on my team. I know he does make big plays. But right now we have to keep attacking this defense because there's no reason that these games should be turning out this way. We can't, yes, the run game improved a little bit, but I got to be honest with you. I don't think that the guy that was running the ball this week for Seattle was as good as Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall was a little, he's a beast. So of course it should have came in our favor a little bit this weekend. That's all I'm saying, Mike.
I like Kenneth Walker the third.
Well, you can like him all you want, but Breece Hall was a beast, dude. The guy was faster. He was good.
But no, I think Kenneth Walker, he wasn't the same. He hasn't been the same since his rookie year, and that's probably what I still have him pictured as that running back. But back to Cody, like in the defense, like and TJ Watt, like I said this all off season. Like when he wanted his big money contract, you have to have the big money expectations. Ben had the big money contract. He had the big money expectations. Go over to hockey, my other favorite sport. Sidney Crosby, highest paid player on the team, best player on the team, best player in the world. It's top 5, still at his advanced age. All the expectations are on him. It comes with the territory. So you can't ask for the big contract and not have no criticism. You're not the only one out there. Yes, you're one of 11, but you're the highest paid. You're supposed to be the leader of that defense. Everything runs through you. Unfortunately, you're going to get a lot of the heat, and especially when 5 sacks in your last 17 games, that's a whole season's worth of data right there. That's not worth $41 million.
Phyllis still says Fudge missed week 1. I would be second place. John says you gave him your time and response. I hit a nerve, 13 in the brain. Oh, these two. Cody, I'm sorry. Phyllis still says Cody Silva. Boom. And again, I'm not hating. I'm not hating on TJ at all. I'm just again trying to make sense of what's going on because there's the facts I'm putting out there are the reason why things should. Are going the way that they are. Believe me, it's not a rookie making a boneheaded rookie play. All the Pittsburgh media say
31 points a game.
This is the worst play ever in the history of NFL.
No, I saw
you know
Barry
what?
Foster do the same
Listen,
thing.
believe me, outside of the Barry Foster and this guy making this play in the end zone, there's been a lot of bad plays throughout my life that I've seen. But this is what the media wants you to think right now. And you know what? It's bullshit. We should be talking about the defense, and we should be holding the defense accountable, because the defense, again, 31.5 points a game is what we've let up in the first 2 games. And all those numbers and statistics and everything that I've given you so far should indicate that this shouldn't be the case. Again, 31.5 points a game. Stop blaming it on a rookie. It makes you look. Come on, it makes you look like you're deflecting. Fix the real problems. It takes 2. It takes. Let me tell you something. I can fix this rookie problem. Take him out of the kickoff team. Now, see how quick that was. Now let's figure out the real problems. This is where let's see if the defense could fix that problem as quick as I just figured the Caleb Johnson problem out. Let's see how that goes. Again, blaming on the rookie is a scapegoat move. You might as well blame it on anybody. You know, we can even go blame it on Connor. He's a scapegoat. But you can't.
Connor is the scapegoat. How did we forget this? Everything's Connor Hayward's fault.
How are you going to give that name to the Caleb? Again, this kid literally played a game and a half when that happened in his pro career. So maybe these other guys, Mike, that's been in the league on the defense for years, maybe they should do better too. That's what the logic is, right?
That should be the logic, but it's sports logic. We always want to blame the rookies, never the stars who have been here forever. It's just it's you know, because we have history with those guys. We have memories with the guys who have been here forever making great plays, and we don't know this rookie. We just know him. He's a bum. But anyone who wants to give up on Caleb Johnson, just remember Le'Veon Bell was considered a bust after his first year. Troy Polamalu was considered one of the biggest busts because we traded up for him, and he didn't play a whole lot his rookie year. And he looked lost. Now, I'm not saying Caleb Johnson's going to go on to have a Hall of Fame career, redefine running back, but give a third round pick a chance.
He's played 1 game prior to that mistake.
Yeah,
one game.
And he had a mistake in his first game too, but give him a chance.
Here's the easy mistake: pull him.
Yeah.
Now try to make it easy. Try to figure out what the real problem is. Make this defense full of star-studded, highest paid, defensive coach-minded. Defensive-minded coach, all those things. The best player in the league on the defense. Now figure out the problem. That was easy. We could get KJ out there in half a second. That problem is fixed. Believe me, that's not the problem. 31.5 points in the first 2 games against the Jets and the Seahawks is the problem. You haven't played the Bills yet. You haven't faced Josh Allen yet. You haven't seen Baltimore twice. You haven't seen Justin Herbert and the Chargers. You haven't seen Jordan Love and the Packers. Guys, if they don't fix this defense, it's going to be a long season, and I promise you this, it's not going to be because of Caleb Johnson on special teams. Mike, I'm going to move forward here. Cody says, Pittsburgh defense sucks. It's because TJ hasn't got a sack. And that's not the case. But again, to add to that, though, he has got a sack 5 times in the last 17 games. So it's part of the whole. I'm not going to blame it on TJ entirely, but it is part of the whole, again, of all the points that I've made so far. Cody says, if anyone doesn't have a sack, at Tomlin not going forward on 4th and 1. And that's the thing. A lot of things happened that went to this, that counts towards this loss. And again, I think tomorrow we're going to hit the offense more. Today I wanted to hit the defense because, again, 31.5 points a game. That's not good anywhere.
No.
I'm sorry, Tortilla at Cody. I ain't turning on TJ. I'm just worried because he looks like he's playing safe. Right. I'm just wondering too. I mean, it's, you got to age at some point has to start ringing in your ears when you're giving these guys, you're making these guys the highest paid player, non-quarterback in the league. You have to say, is that what you're getting still? When you look at the last 17 games, again, I like what I'm just trying to address the whole here by doing this.
Yep.
Phyllis still says that. Cody, there you go. Vanilla says the last 5 losses at the end of 2024 was TJ's fault.
All his fault. Hey, he had like 1 sack down those games. Just saying. Mark
Malone, will their participation be our guide? Big Pun, what's up?
That's another great Tomlinism.
Always great seeing Big Pun on the terrible board. He says TJ's a $41 million player playing like a $5 million player.
Ooh, shots fired.
Mark Malone says, will TJ get 15 sacks this year? Well, he's better get moving because he only has 15 games left. He's got to get a sack a game, which he can do, but that's where we're at. That's what we're up against here.
I was told the last time he signed a contract, he set records, and that's what we have to expect.
All right. Mark Malone says, will TJ get 15? And then P, what's up, my man? Always great seeing P
P.
on the board. P says this, those sacks of cash are slowing TJ down. Maybe we have to make his bags lighter.
Maybe we got to give some of his money and give it to Cam.
Yeah. The Steelers, John is saying the Steelers are 1-6 in the past 7 games. The only win being that we tweaked out of the Jets. Phil Steele says, I do see Watt getting double teamed, chipped, sometimes even triple teamed. And again, I don't think we should focus on Watt. He's a part of the whole. And again, you could look at the numbers here and say that we're not getting what we want. But again, there's 10 other guys that we should not be the worst defense in the league. We shouldn't. It's weird. It's weird that we are. Kenneth, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Kenneth Jones on the terrible board. My man, hope everything's going well for you, sir. John says, look at the average opponent's score for the past 10 games. I don't have it in front of me. I trust you.
It's not pretty.
And it's not. I know it's not pretty, but it's got to be about 30 points a game, 20 in the high 20s at least. Tortilla says Danny Smith should be offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and head coach. And a stock owner in bubblegum, I think, too. Mark Malone says should be two lightning bolts at Field of Steel. Big Pun says this: Steelers committed the mortal sin with TJ's contract. They paid him for past performances, not the future performance. Field of Steel says, fellas, I played defensive end in 4-3 defense, and I got attention the same way as Watt did. Where are the other 10 on? I agree. Again, I don't want anybody feeling like this is a TJ Watt shit on TJ Watt day. It's really not. John says one more year with no playoff wins, ties Tomlin with Marvin Lewis. No other coach would have his job. That's interesting. Again, we going off of the guys past instead of what they're doing now and in the future, like TJ. Kenneth says Wilson and Queen are not very good for starting linebackers. Linebacker play is crucial in our dude. And this is something I did say last week, Kenneth. We need a thumper. We need a Lawrence Timmons. We need a Levon Kirkland. Patrick Queen is starting to show signs of being a little bit more of what that player that we need is. It's not Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson, listen, I'm not taking anything away from the guy. But the guy, does this guy even know how to, listen, he's everywhere. He makes a lot of tackles. But wrapping a guy around the waist and body slamming everybody, which 8 times out of 10, the guy doesn't go down because he's tackling him. He picks him up and that's got to change. Again, why is nobody addressing that? Maybe this is just the way the guy tackles. I don't know. But Patrick Queen started to show signs of that thumper that we talked about last week. Again, I'm still not calling him Lawrence Timmons or Levon Kirkland, but there were things that were done during this last game that weren't done in the first game that I could say that he's playing toward, and he understands that, I think, because of the adjustments I've seen made this week by Patrick Queen. Again, I don't know how much his ribs held him back this week, which I think was a big part of the way things turned out. But again, we need a thumper. You need a guy that has his head in the hole, no matter what lane the ball is coming through, whatever holes the ball is coming through. Those big middle inside linebackers who are just on every play. We don't have that anymore. I think Queen could be. And I think, again, he knows he could be and should be, and he made a little bit of an adjustment, Mike. But, again, I don't know if we have that guy in the middle. It's certainly not Peyton Wilson. That's definitely not his gig.
No, we don't have any linebackers that we're going to meet that fullback head on and just live for that collision to allow your teammate to make the play. We have guys that are going to try and skirt around the fullback to try and make the play. I was hoping Malik Harrison would try and fill that role, but, he's on IR. Cole Holcomb looked very tentative out there on Sunday trying to make plays. I don't think he's the answer. I don't know who the answer is. We just need someone out there who's willing to run in head first and eat up some blocks.
You need that guy. You need that guy. If you're a really good run stopping team, you need that hammer.
Because that allows Patrick Queen to fly around. But Queen's not that guy that's going to go up there and take that block head on. He's going to, manipulate his body to find that crease to go through and then make the play, but he's not that guy who's going to willingly run into a 300-pound guard. Landon Roberts was that guy. We need someone like him. We need a Landon Roberts who's willing to go in there and beat that. Yeah, he might not be able to cover. I don't go fuck. Just go out there and plug a hole and play a zone when you're out there. And then that's all I want from a guy next to Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson are two of the similar players. Yeah, I want someone a little bit more beefier, like you said. I want to see, hopefully Malik Harrison can get healthy and get off IR and come back and be that guy. But until then, we got to figure something out. Because the front's not eating up enough blocks. Earlier in the game, they were eating up blocks and allowing guys to flow and make plays. But as the game went on, that shit
it's halftime, Mike. Time out. It's halftime, everybody. Time to reveal the CBS Pick'em results. Here we go, guys. Everybody did well this week. Mike, in the picks, it went like this. For the week, Mike.
Yes.
You, RB, myself, Cody, and Derpy all have 12 wins. All have 12 wins. Now, I just want to say this. Mike, I missed making the first pick for the week, and I would have taken the Packers, and I should have had 13. So I'm just throwing that out there.
You shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I shoulda, coulda, and that's the point I'm making. So I didn't win. So I'm just throwing that out there, guys. If you want to stay in the competition, don't be like me. Make sure you get every pick in every week, guys. I missed the Thursday night pick last week, and that's setting me back one. But again, Mike, sorry, RB, you, myself, Cody, Derpy, all with 12 wins. Field of Steel, Corey, Vegas, and Finch all with 11 wins. And then Richard this week on the other end of the scoreboard, he comes up with 10, which again, everybody else has 12 and you have 10. That's not bad. Mike, and this is what the results look like right now. To date, RB is in first place alone with 25 correct picks so far in the first 2 weeks. Mike, that's out of 32 games. RB has 25 correct picks. Second place, Mike, second place with 24 is Vegas and Richard. They both sit at 24. So Richard really didn't fall. He just fell one spot, Mike, into second place after week 2. After he dominated week 1, Mike, Richard and Vegas both with 24 points. Myself, Cody, Corey, and Finch all have 23. You have 22. Derpy has 21. Field of Steel, he didn't, to be fair, he didn't pick in the first week, but he has 12 at this point. So that's where we sit, guys. Congratulations. Great job. And don't forget, and I certainly am not going to be forgetting Thursday night to get my first pick in. Thursday night is the first game when the week 3 kicks off. So don't forget to get on and make your picks as it is now available, guys. Again, great job, everybody. Keep it up and looking good so far. Everybody's doing great. And now things are going to get interesting. You're learning the teams. You see what they have, what they don't have. So, again, get them picks in by Thursday night. Mike, that is the results from the CBS Pick'ems this week.
4 games separate first from last place.
It's going to
that is like, and I feel like if Steele would have got his picks in too, I think he said he'd be around like the 23-24 mark as well.
Oh, like, absolutely. Yeah.
Like smartest board in all of Steeler YouTube podcast.
All right, Cody, we'll get back to the board. Cody says TJ Watt's fault. This defense sucks. Laughing faces. At Big Pun says that Cody, not totally his fault, but he shares in it. Field of Steel says if Watt is getting the attention and chip for double team, where is the adjustments by the defensive coordinator to blitz scheme to cover Watt's assignment? Cody says y'all got so used to this guy winning games for us now now that his not you all turn on him. No, that's the thing. We're not. I mean, some are, but you know what? At the end of next week, if he comes out and makes a couple amazing plays, everybody will be high on him again. I think it's the loss talking for a lot of things. And again, we're just trying to figure it all out. Tortilla says, shit, if the year does go to shit, maybe we will get to see Will Howard play. Here's a question for you guys on the board. Aaron kind of looked, as Mike said, a little disconnected in the last game. Just a general opinion on the board. How many people think that Aaron Rodgers will be the quarterback of this team, in the starting quarterback in week 17? This could be because of injury. This could be because of anything. Does anybody think possibly that Aaron Rodgers is going to make it all the way to week 17 of being the quarterback of this team? I don't know. The first week I thought he looked good. Last week I didn't think he looked so great. I don't know what to expect. But again, throw your opinion on the board, guys. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be the starting quarterback on week 17 of this football team? John says outdated schemes, old players who lost a step, and new players that are underdeveloped and undercoached. Mark Malone says you just ain't doing it right to Field of Steel. And John says missing on draft picks also. Big Pun not turning on him, just expecting him to play to warrant $41 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, everybody, we all agree we're just coming from different angles. That's all. Tortilla says that, John, we'll still win 9 games. And I'm sure that, we will. I'm sure we will win 9 games. Phil still says, Mark Malone, got you. Hey, Vanilla, get off Watt because he's going to make that play, and you know it, and start holding my accountable Mike. Oh, Mike Tomlin. Okay, gotcha.
I hold everyone accountable. Players, coaches.
John says, TJ, that may be a success for you, not for everyone. Tortilla says, it was a joke, dude. So the guy's still chippy this week, and I get it, believe me. Tortilla says, it's funny because it's true. John says, notice I didn't get personal. It was a joke. Okay, so these guys are going. I'm going to go up here a little bit. Phil still says, all right, all of you on Watt's ass, get off his cack. When he makes the plays to give the Steelers W's coming up, don't get on the Watt rod, fellas. Cody,
I'm not going to say what I want to say.
Cody says it's only been 2 games, though. It's only been 2 games. And then finally, then here we go. We got RB. RB says, you hit a nerve. You came on here a day later, just ready to say, guy. Okay, so these guys are still going at it as well. Let me move forward as they have at it. John says the NFL left Tomlin behind. All the money spent while looking at the Eagles model should tell folks something. I'm sorry. And then let me scooch up a little bit here. John said, Phil still says, there you go. Watt is back. Watt is still our big cack in that Men of Steel locker room. I don't care what Vanilla says. You know what? I don't either. I don't care what that Vanilla says. Let's see. Kenneth Jones says, Tomlin said today Johnson is off of kickoff for now. Good. Right? I mean, like I said, that's an easy fix. Why would this even be an issue? Oh, guess what? You're not on kickoff return anymore. Okay, coach. Thanks. Believe me, he's probably thinking thanks right now.
Thank fucking Christ.
We may need another Bruner in the game, Mark Malone is saying. Tortilla is saying, put Darnell Washington in middle linebacker. You know what? We're putting running backs at kick return. Why? Why not put
Darnell Washington?
Darnell Washington is going to play tackle. He's going to play middle linebacker. At this point, why not? Again, they're playing people out of position.
Darnell Washington is the cure-all to all the. He's got to play left tackle, middle linebacker, wide receiver 2. He's got to play corner 2 until JPJ gets back. Darnell Washington is going to be the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. Again, we put Caleb in a position that he's not good at or has any experience at or expected to play well, and why not put Darnell somewhere else? John says TJ hasn't won a playoff game. That's true. Field of Steel says, Ryan, this is the ping pong board, not the terrible board. And Brian wasn't here earlier. He might still be around. Richard says, congratulations, Raymond Barley. Also, Field of Steel. Oh, on the big win, absolutely. RB did really good. Everybody else did really good. Only two points between everybody, so pretty competitive on the CBS pick'ems. I'm sorry. Phil still says, darn it, missed week 1. RB would be number 2 right behind me. That's what I'm saying. You're doing well enough, and we all know that you're certainly in it. Kenneth says, watch the film. Neither linebacker's up to snuff most times. Queen bypassed several tackles last game. I know. It's not good, believe me. Kenneth Jones says Queen flies around and misses 40% of his attempted tackles, which, again, I think it got a little bit better, which was making me wonder what the hell we were doing before. As I said, it improved a little bit. Mark Malone, Rodgers rarely misses games. That's what I'm saying. Throw your opinion up there. It might be an injury. I don't think they're going to yank him because of performance unless it gets really bad. And they're like, well, let's give Will Howard a look while Aaron's healthy. But again, 42 years old, you can't guarantee that he's going to stay healthy all season, especially taking some of the shots that he might take with the offensive line doing what they're doing. So, or being where they're being at in their development. Field of Steel says, yes, give the other QBs a shot. These 2 preseason games before the bye. Tortilla. You know, and a couple other things I'm seeing, a lot of big name players aren't going to be around when we play them. I'm seeing McCarthy's probably not going to be around there. I mean, he's not going to be in the Minnesota game. Somebody else was a big name I seen coming up. Of course, we don't see Joe Burrow this year. So, I mean, these are opportunities for us here, guys. We have to take advantage. We have to win the games that we should win. Tortilla says, the way the O-line is playing, he won't make it to Christmas. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What do you guys think? Do you think he'll be here? You think he'll be the starting quarterback? Richard says Rodgers will be lucky to be in one piece by week 17. See, this is what I'm seeing. I can't imagine that he's going to be the quarterback at week 17 unless he gets injured and comes back and is playing on week 17. But again, is he going to be the starter for every game this season? Still got 15 to go.
The way quarterbacks are going down, let's flip A-Rod for a couple of draft picks.
Yeah. John says stats like no sacks in 6 games or a 1-6 record the past 7 games beats he is my guy comments. Cody says the Eagle model is to not have the head coach involved in anything and hire good coordinators to do their job. The same with the Lions. Mark Malone says, remember when they had Dookie Davenport? Believe me, I remember Dookie Davenport. I bring him up all the time.
You just didn't know the name of Dookie. You forgot he was called Dookie. You never heard the story.
RB says Pepper should be returning kicks. Mark Malone when they had Ricardo Coakley and Ike Taylor returning punts.
I was always surprised Ike Taylor was able to catch punts because he could never catch a pass.
I would not. I know. I don't get that at all. Cody says if you're going to move Darnell, put him at left tackle. And then he goes on to say that Terrell Austin sucks as defensive coordinator. And finally, John says any emotional attachment to a player or coach who gets paid to entertain it is a toxic way of thinking. Save emotions for friends and family, not strangers who don't care. Guys, I'm going to move forward a little bit here because this is where we're at in the show. Mike, I'm going to talk briefly about a couple things here. The Steelers dropped. They dropped number 17 overall in the rankings this week, which, I'm not going to complain. Well, I'm not going to complain because, again, it's not looking good, and we have, by number, pretty much the worst defense in the league. A few other things that we're going to hit on here, Mike, is this. Okay, Mike Tomlin. This is only the second time in Mike Tomlin's 19 years where he's allowed a 100-yard rusher in each of the first 2 games. Oof. So, again, these are not problems that we should be having at this point with everything that we've done to get to where this defense, what we have. These are not numbers that are just even in the ballpark of what should be happening right now.
Yeah, there's no continued track record of this happening, and having happened this early in the season. Very, very concerning.
All right, I'm going to switch over to offense briefly as the show is where we're at. Mike, Aaron Rodgers play fake that had the guy run 5 yards in the other direction chasing a guy that didn't have the ball on the play action pass was one of the best play fakes that I've seen in Pittsburgh history. I've seen some good ones in the past, but Mike, that has to be the way that guy responded and continued to chase the ball carrier that didn't have the ball. Mike, that was a play of beauty. Whether you didn't like what Aaron Rodgers did this weekend, you got to admit that play action shook the hell out of that guy, man.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing of beauty. And I forget who was crashing down. I know it was one of their ends who's a pretty good player. So it's not like he fooled some bum. He fooled someone who knows what the hell he's doing. And it kind of sucked that DK was double teamed deep because he had DK if it was one-on-one. So they had to take the check down, but it was a nice play design. And it's funny that the teams are still biting on our run plays when we can't run the ball. And I wouldn't bite on a single fucking play fake.
Again,
our line ain't blocking.
We start playing good teams, Mike. We haven't played anybody yet, so just put everything into consideration that we've talked about, and we haven't played anybody yet.
But it was just comical.
We have a lot of good teams on the schedule this year, so I mean there is reason for concern.
But that just shows how good at his craft how good at the craft he is. Because
Cody says Rodgers said psych.
to make the handoff to make the play action look like you do the handoff in that continued motion around, that's someone who focused their entire career on the finer points of their position, focusing in on the details. Because there are certain quarterbacks that, when they do a handoff, they kind of loaf around. And when they do the play action, they don't loaf around. So that gives that cue to the defender. And Aaron Rodgers has kept that steady his entire career and was able to pull that trick out of the bag.
All right, guys. Mike, this is something I want to touch on real quick,
Yeah.
just because this is something that you and I we volleyed all off season about after a move that was made after last season ended. I want to talk about the starting running back, and I want to compare and say to you, I just want to give you the numbers of what Najee did in his rookie season as a starting running back in a rookie season under Matt Canada, behind an offensive line that we didn't know what was going on. Again, a whole lot of problems. Mike, this is what Najee did. This is what Jaylen Warren needs to do to match that this year. If we want to have, we'll call him the number one running back. In 17 games, he didn't miss a game. Najee ran for 1,200 yards. He had 7 touchdowns on the ground. He caught the ball 74 times for 370 yards in the air, 3 receiving touchdowns, a total of 10 touchdowns. He had 0 fumbles. Mike, this is what Jaylen Warren has to match in order to say that we've improved in the running game this year. So just throwing that out there.
Going to be lofty. Going to be lofty.
So again,
neither guy are lighting it up right now this year.
Yeah,
too, brother. Because I checked out Najee's stats. I'm like, okay, it's kind of like the same we got with Jaylen.
But again, he has to get his 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground, 74 catches, 370 yards through the air. 3 touchdowns on the through the air, Mike, a total of 10 and 0 fumbles to say that we've improved.
So you're going to his rookie year, not his last year.
Well, this is it, right? His first year. His first year as a starting number 1 running back.
Okay.
And this is Warren's first year starting number 1 running back. So I'm putting those numbers, and not only saying that, Najee had no experience prior to. So just to put that out there. But again, I'm just trying to figure out if we improved anywhere, and I'm trying to figure out what the problems were. But again, Warren has a ways to go before we're catching Najee. Again, if you're wondering if we improved at that position, that is just some numbers to throw at you. Also, guys, tomorrow we're going to get into the Arthur Smith offense. Again, today we were hard on the defense. Today we were hard on the players, and I think rightfully so. But tomorrow we're going to get into the Arthur Smith offense that I've heard about all offseason. Matter of fact, I've heard that this might blow the roof off the NFL because it's so different than what anybody else is doing in the league. Guys, so tomorrow we're going to be hitting the Arthur Smith offense, so come prepared for that tomorrow. But again, guys, I just want to throw this out there for anybody that did miss the beginning of the show. We have the highest paid defense by far, tens of millions. We have the best defensive player, some might say, by TJ Watt. We have a star-studded defense that includes Watt, Cam Hayward, Ramsey, Queen, Slay, Porter Jr., Thornhill, Alex Highsmith, Elliott, guys, and we have a defensive-minded head coach. Yet this defense falls into success rate 31 out of 32 in the league, 29th in EPA per drive, 29th in EPA per play, 29th in points allowed, 29th in yards per play, and 29th in yards per game. So we could either go back and start blaming the rookie for the big loss this week, or we can start looking at the problems and trying to figure out what the hell this defense is doing and why. Because, again, everything that we have just doesn't add up. Even if 1 or 2 guys having a bad day, this defense should be able to land on its feet at some point and, again, stop the Jets and the Seahawks from putting up 31.5 points. Again, this is what was happening last year. This is what we needed to fix. What were the improvements? How did we improve, if any, from last year's defense that got pummeled in the playoffs with Baltimore in the last 4 games of the season? Again, this isn't against elite teams now. This is the Jets and the Seahawks. This isn't the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Eagles, the Ravens again in the playoffs. So, again, where's the improvement? We want to see that. Finally, Mike, I do want to say tomorrow we are attacking the offense and Arthur Smith's offense. Again, a lot of good. I heard all offseason. I'm still waiting. I haven't seen this any different from a lot of things. Yes, I mean, there are things that are different, but again, same results at the end of the day. What seems to be the problem? We're going to figure that out this week. Mike, also a few other things here before we do move forward. You know what? I'm going to touch that after the show. I'm going to do it now.
Okay.
Guys, here's one for you. Now we'll get back on the board here. Seattle, they were complaining, and they had a lot of fans there. Don't get me wrong. They say that we stole Renegade.
What?
They said that's our song. I seen this on plenty of social media over the weekend. That's our song. The Steelers stole Renegade. If they did, nobody knew.
Yeah, when was it your song? When you were irrelevant?
Right. They act like
We've
that's
only had what 2 seasons where you were relevant.
exactly.
We've had decades where we were the cream of the crop.
Absolutely. Guys, let's bust through the final scores throughout this week number 2. We're going to put week 2 behind us for a sense. Again, we're going to be talking about this offense tomorrow, but we're ready to move forward and start talking about New England also. So we're going to do that tomorrow, Mike, and figure out what we got to do to beat the New England Patriots, who don't look good. They barely beat the Miami Dolphins. They lost to the Raiders. So, again, a winnable game. It should, in theory, this should be a winnable game. And again, if we don't win, we might have a lot more problems than we thought that we had. Let's go over these finals from this week, Mike, from week 2, as week 2 is in the history books. Monday Night Football wrapped it up last night. We're going to start back on Thursday with the game that I missed on my picks, Mike. The Green Bay Packers, they beat the Commanders 27-18 on Thursday. Then we are going to bump up to Sunday. Sunday, the Cowboys beat the Giants 40-37 in overtime. The Rams beat Tennessee 33-19. Buffalo kills the Bills, which was expected, 30-10. The Jets only scored 10 against Buffalo's defense. Just throwing that out there. Patriots, they win 33-27 over the Dolphins, which is our next opponent, the Patriots. Mike, this game in our division gives the Bengals first place as they win 31-27 over the terrible Jaguars team.
Yeah.
49ers 20. Huh?
I was saying losing Joe Burrow in the
process. What Derpy? Okay.
Oh, come on now.
I
was in context what we were talking about.
No, because there's obviously a pattern, and and we've already talked about Joe Burrow getting hurt and being out for the season. So again, I don't see the pattern, the context. But Mike, the 49ers, they beat the Saints 26-21. The Ravens annihilate the Browns 41-17. The Lions annihilate the Chicago Bears 52-21. The Colts 2-0. A matter of fact, the best offense in the league, 29-28 over the Broncos, who's got a good defense. The Cardinals 27, the Panthers 22. The Eagles put the Chiefs at 0-2 to start this season as the Eagles win 20-17. The Falcons win 22-6, which was another one of my losses. I took the Vikings in this game, which I think a lot of people did on the board. Also, Mike, last night to wrap it up, the Buccaneers win 20-19 over the Texans, and the Chargers, they beat the Raiders to start off 2-0 and take first place in that AFC West. Mike, they beat them 20-9. And let me just kind of zip through the standings. This is what it looks like. The Bills are 2-0 in first place. The Patriots 1-1. And then the other two teams, the Jets and Dolphins, both 0-2. In the AFC West, the Chargers 2-0. Broncos and Raiders 1-1. And the Chiefs 0-2. In our division, the Bengals 2-0. Us and the Ravens 1-1. The Browns 0-2. And then AFC South, you got the Colts leading the way 2-0. The Jags 1-1. The Texans and the Titans both sitting at 0-2. Let me jump over to the NFC side. NFC East, Eagles 2-0, Commanders and Cowboys both 1-1, the Giants 0-2. In the NFC West, 49ers 2-0, Cardinals 2-0, the Rams 2-0. Who would have thought the NFC West would be the strong division after 2 weeks? And the Seahawks, even they're 1-1. They everybody has a win in that division at least. The NFC North, our division that we play this year, the Packers 2-0, the Vikings and Lions both 1-1, the Bears 0-2. And finally, the NFC South is the Buccaneers 2-0, Falcons 1-1, both Panthers and Saints bringing up the rear in that division, Mike, at 0-2. And that is the door closing on week 2. It's time to move forward. It's week 3, getting ready for the Patriots. Again, we will still address the Arthur Smith offense tomorrow as we address the defense today. But guys, again, at the end of the day, it is week 3. We got Mike, 2 days until you have to get your picks in on the CBS Pick'em. So this just shows you how fast the NFL season goes. We'll be playing the Patriots at Gillette Stadium before you know it. And again, Mike, I think this should be a win. I would have said very easily prior to what happened this weekend that this is a winnable game. We're probably going to win. But again, Mike, I've seen things in these first 2 weeks of this season that make me kind of back off of that a little bit and say, well, New England, they found ways to beat us before. Maybe this isn't a win.
Yeah, I have no games as automatic wins for the Steelers.
We're already favorites. We're favorites in their stadium. So, I mean, a 1.5 maybe.
That's That's generous, Mike. Who the hell's watching this to make us a 1.5 point favorite? My preliminary picks, I have us as a loss right now. I don't see how we're going to win this game after the way.
Right, well, don't give that information away. Again,
I said preliminary,
because nobody, Mike. You don't want anybody. Listen. When we were just doing the picks here, it was beneficial. But now that we're,
I know. I got competition now. I'm still like, as long as I finish above Derpy, that's all I care about. Bro.
I know.
That's all I care. Like it's one win above Derpy. That's all I'm going for. But no, I like how can anyone say like, oh yeah, Steelers are going to go road favorite when you're a home team, you're automatic 3-point favorite. So now we're 4.5 point favorites against New England, based off of what? Based off
they look worse than we do. That's the only thing I could come up with.
How is that possible?
Well, they lost to the Raiders.
How is that possible?
I guess the Raiders fall in that category with the Jets, though. So, yeah, good point, Mike. Let me get a couple of these messages, and we are going to start wrapping it up as we're rounding third base here. Mike, Matt Canada, Cody, he said his profile pic is a trash can. John says Seahawk fans warned folks about DK's drive. He did. They did. We knew that he has some dropsies.
I didn't realize it was Deontay Johnson level dropsies.
I know. Again, you could deal with some drops if you have two midgets and two white guys as your other wide receivers. But again, you can't be Deontay Johnson with that situation. I think everybody could agree with that. Cody says, I heard his name Saturday. I think he's an offensive coordinator at a small college. Matt Canada, I think he's talking about. Also, RB says all that shotgun was not Arthur Smith. Hey, I'm just waiting to see all this tight end success. We got 30 of them. You better start getting us some wins. Phil Steele says, Steeler freak Steelers have become now. You know what? I'll just wait for the chance at Heinz Field. John says Rodgers is running the offense. He's like Gainwell. Cody says defensive coordinator can't scheme. Unimaginative, but fuck. RB not liking Renegade. Mike, RB is that's where you were last year.
Mike was anti-Renegade
until you hexed everything, and now we had to reverse the hex.
Vanilla Thunder is full on Renegade, brother. It's just Vanilla Thunder wakes up and rocks out to Renegade.
John says that is Tomlin's D, not Austin's. John also says Nagy isn't the offensive coordinator for KC. Reed is. Cody says I've seen Seahawks head coach played. I've seen that Seattle's Seahawks coach played the song at their practice and said when the song came on to twirl the towels on the sideline, idiots don't know what happens when you mess with the towel. And then they also say,
so Seahawks are talking shit on the terrible towel? Or are they comparing their towel to the terrible towel? Your season's fucked.
Cody says they beat the Dolphins. So that is what we're up against here. Again, if you think that you should beat a team, this would be the team that I think that you think that we should beat. But again, after what we've seen and giving up 31.5 points per game, and the only thing to go by so far this year, we certainly will see. Mike, why don't you, you know what, real quick, Pirates, they dropped game one to the Cubs 4-0. Again, another shutout in this Pirates crazy season. I think they have like 40 shutouts they're involved with this year. I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot. Today's Paul Skeens Day, game 2 of 3 against the Cubs down on the North Shore, Mike. 6:40 start today as Paul Skeens faces the Cubs. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the website?
The2Yinzers.com. Remember, we got all of our social media links over there. If you're not following, go check it out. We got the merch store over there, and we got Vanilla Thunder's Dumb Thoughts. If you haven't read this week's Dumb Thoughts, go check it out. I think it's worth a chuckle or two over there. Check it out. The2Yinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of good stuff. www.the2Yinzers.com. That's www.the2Yinzers.com. Go check it out. Mike does a lot of work. And I just do one more thing here before we go into the trivia question of the day. This is some of the games in our division that's going to affect us as well on the schedule. We'll get more into the schedule moving forward tomorrow as well. But the Bengals, they go to Minnesota to play the Vikings, guys. The Browns, they host the Green Bay Packers. And then finally, the Baltimore Ravens, they play on Monday night against the Detroit Lions. So these games may or may not affect the Steelers in our division, depending on what we do. So, guys, there you go. Lions at the Ravens, Packers at the Browns, and again, a Joe Burrow-less Bengals traveling to Minnesota to play J.J. McCarthy-less Vikings. Again, might be interesting and might trip you up on your picks. Got to remember those kind of things, guys. No starting quarterbacks will be playing in that particular game. All right, guys, it's time to do the trivia. Mike, put on your thinking cap. Everybody on the board, everybody at home, put on your thinking cap. Well, also while you're drinking your Duquesne Pilsner, right here on the show, Mike. As he's been drinking all day, we'll see how that affects your trivia skills, guys. Here we go. How many divisions did Tom Brady win in his 19 years as a Patriot? How many times did the New England Patriots win a division under Tom Brady in his 19 years with the Patriots? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on the Tube. So, guys, question of the day. How many division titles does Tom Brady have as the New England Patriots quarterback in his 19 seasons with the team? Throw up your opinions or questions or your answers on the board. Mike, also, what is your thought process? And I got to tell you, we're cutting you off of. You know what? I'm going to put beer cans all around you to promote our friends, but you're very loud today.
I'm sorry.
And then you're low, and then
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a nice little homeostasis here.
Well, how's that going for you?
Not good, brother.
It only took a couple hours, and it's anyway, Mike. What is your thought process, Mike?
They dominated for a long time there.
How many division titles did Tom Brady win in his 19 years in New England?
There's no way he won 19 in a row. I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to go with 17. 17.
Is this your final answer?
Yeah, I played it safe. 2 years he didn't win.
All right, I'm going to lock you in, Mike, on 17. Cody's saying 7 on the board. Anybody else wants to throw their guess up there? The question of the day is this: how many division? Because, of course, this is how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? New England Patriots is our opponent. Question of the day. Phil is still saying 15 on the board. Cody's saying 7. Mike, you said 17. Guys, question of the day is this: how many division titles did Tom Brady win as the quarterback of the New England Patriots in his 19 seasons there? Mike 17, Phil 15, Cody 7. Guys, the correct answer, of course, the amount of Tom Brady Division I teams out of 19 seasons was 17. 17
no shit.
Times out of 19.
No shit.
There's teams that don't even have we were talking about the Jets the other day. They only have 4 in the history of ever. The Patriots had 17 in this century. So says something, guys.
And you were making fun of me. And then I come out. And
I didn't make fun of you. I just said that it was kind of. I thought the audio is kind of terrible because of the yelling. But you know what? We're gonna fix it.
I'm excited today. I'm sorry. I was bringing a little energy.
All right.
I can be like Derpy.
You were like Derpy. That's the thing. I didn't even bring that up. I didn't even bring that up because I didn't want to embarrass you.
I know.
All
and
right.
Speaking of Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Also, Cody says, can you guys even mention or even name one Patriots wide receiver? I can't. Mike might be able to, but I cannot.
They just traded Jalen Polk. Does that count?
Polk, I can name him.
He got traded. I think he was on IR and they traded him.
Oh, he's gone now?
Yeah, they had Bourne, but they cut him.
Yeah. He says, Cody says he can't. I don't know if I can either.
Oh, God. I got to look. I'm sorry.
He says playing Wentz, and we'll be playing Carson Wentz in Ireland.
Stephon Diggs and Keyshawn Booty. And Matt Hollis, the dude who don't wear shoes.
Cody says we're going to be facing Wentz in Ireland when we play Minnesota. Yeah. I like that.
I don't.
You know what? I don't either. I don't.
I'd rather
face McCarthy.
Yeah, because he's more prone to make a dumb rookie mistake. Where Wentz, I think he just play it smart, throw it away. And I think they get Jordan Addison back that game.
And you know what? Wentz, he put numbers up against us when he was in Philly. It's been many years.
Yeah, it's been a while,
but we haven't done great against Wentz historically. So again, we will see. John says Rodgers wants Gainwell over Johnson. Playing Johnson on special teams was to appease the front office and justify his pick. Phil still says Deflategate seasons shouldn't count. I agree. And then who the fuck is
Spygate.
Jalen Polk is what Cody says. So we are wrapping things up, guys. This is Patriots Week. The Patriots are 1-1. We are heading to Gillette Stadium this weekend to take the Patriots on and see who could win the second game of the year, Mike. Who could get the 2 wins first between these 2 football teams? I sure hope that it's us, but we will find out this weekend. Again, tomorrow, Arthur Smith offense will be the topic on the show, and we're going to start trying to figure out what it is we have to do to beat this New England team, Mike, because, again, if this New England team comes out and puts up 31, 32 points against us, then we're really going to be looking for answers heading into the game over the pond, then the bye week, and then we're coming back to division games. So things are going to get more difficult as we do move along, guys. Starting off with the Jets and Seahawks, I think was pretty generous. And, you know, we've seen how it played out, so we'd have to do some figuring out here. Cody says, redheaded guy in Ireland sounds like a lost guy is going to find the end of the rainbow. That's true. It didn't even dawn on me. Carson Wentz is a redhead.
Right? God.
This has it has disaster written all over it.
It does too. It has a 1-3 start written all over it as we grind our way into a playoff loss.
I do want to say thank you to everybody coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys and gals. Thank you so much. You are the best. I do want to say the Terrible board, Mike. I want to thank them on the Terrible board. They always keep things interesting. They are also the best, Mike, and then everybody at home. Maybe listening on your phone, your earbuds, at the gym, in the car, or maybe even at work. We want to thank you too. Also, I wanted to give a special extra thanks to our friends at the Duquesne Pilsner, as they helped us out over the weekend. They put their name in their promotion for their tailgate down at Acrisure Stadium for this past weekend. So I do want to say, give Duquesne Pilsner a try. I think you're going to like it, guys. Really good beer. Giving them the big shout out there. Also, what else do we got here? If you haven't had a chance yet, go check out our social media, guys. We are all over social media. We're on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Go over, hit the like button, follow button, and keep up with what the Two Dumb Yinzers are doing on an everyday basis. And if you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like, sub, and share button down below. It helps us out. We appreciate it greatly. We appreciate that, Cody. We really do, and you guys are the best. So thank you. I greatly appreciate it for your kind words. Phyllis Steele says, cheers, ping pong board. And then Big Zeus. What up, Big Zeus?
What up?
Big Zeus says, at John, why are you just making shit up? So I don't know what that's about, but it's been chippy on the board today, guys, as we are getting ready to wrap things up for the day. Mike, what is it that you have to say as we are winding down?
No, this was fun today. Little NFL news, but it is Pittsburgh related because it involves former Pitt player Kalijah Kancey. He's out for the year, Ryan. Tore his pec.
You know what?
He's one of those Pitt guys I like.
They still got Sirocco down there because they get both of these guys from the same draft on their starting defense. Mike, one guy goes down. I think they're going to be okay. Tampa Bay's got a nice little team. But yes, Kancey going down is big.
I saw that. I was like, damn, that sucks. I like that guy.
Yeah, they got that. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Also, Cody says, who's the biggest loser this week? Well, let me pull up the board. Let me pull up the board real quick before we go. The biggest loser this week would be, all right, the biggest loser would technically be Richard. Because he only had 10 wins this week. So there you go, guys. You could go from being the top dog dominating in week 1 to the biggest loser, which again, it's going to change. So again, I am not going to get on him like I get on Derpy, because again, Derpy is he's Derpy. But Richard did fall into the category for this week, guys. But get back on it as the picks are going to be starting to roll off here on Thursday night. And today's already Tuesday afternoon, guys. It won't be long now. Again, the results on that, RB, he finished with the top. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct, Richard. And then RB did finish at the top, along with Mike and myself, Cody and Derpy, all having 12 wins. Phyllis Steele, Corey, Vegas, and Finch all with 11. So great job, guys. We're going to get it back at it. It isn't like the person who's falling in the biggest loser category has 3 wins. Everybody's doing very well.
Yeah.
But again, maybe as we move forward, we'll start giving the board guys a little bit more shit. Right now, I feel more comfortable giving, calling Derpy the biggest loser.
Yeah, I'm not going to call Richard the biggest loser.
Right?
No,
exactly, because he's not. He won the first week. Derpy literally is. So again, there
Now,
you go, everybody.
Steel, on the other hand, no, I'm joking, brother.
What's that?
I said, now Steel, on the other hand, I'll throw ping pongs at him, call him the biggest loser. Then go and try and waddle away before he kicks my ass.
Yeah.
But God damn it, I'd do it.
So there you go. And especially after a chippy day, I don't want John coming punching me in the nose or something after, So there you go. We'll still continue to call Derpy the biggest loser, but by the results.
Well, he is. This is his nature.
Because he is. But by the results, Richard was the biggest loser this week. Guys, so great job on that. Again, if you want to participate and make some picks moving forward, Mike does have the link on the board. And you can also go just right outside onto the YouTube page and hit the link there, guys. Sign up. It takes about 30 seconds. It costs nothing. Get your picks in, guys. It's a lot of fun. Cody. But yeah, that's what's going down. There you go. Phil is still is not afraid. He will tell Richard how it is. He said because Richard this week is the biggest loser. So there you go, everybody. But again, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. And again, get into this offense, find out what's going on, and then we'll start preparing for the Patriots as well as Mike. Will already be in on Hump Day. So there you go.
Okay.
Hump Day, guys, and also Vanilla. Phil still loves you. I don't know what this is about, but it says it on the board. There you go. And also, I see one more coming. Cody says you told us to take his advice. Christophus, what's up, my man? Derek Harmon, YA Black. I would like to see these guys develop properly in the NFL before we get any more Keanu Bettons. I'm just saying, but Christophus, I like these two young men, and again, I hope things go well for them. Again, Love Fest. Vegas says, love all you Yinzers. Again, everybody, thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow at our usual time. Mike, one last chance. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I got nothing, brother.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. Hope everybody stays safe. And we'll see everybody first thing tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.